All right, we're going to rewire how you feel about sales entirely over the next few minutes. I'm excited to share this with you because I'm going to give you 3 specific reframes, and these can help you to sell in a different way that's within your integrity. Most of us, myself included, even though I specialize in teaching sales and helping with sales transformation, we feel pretty icky when we think about traditional sales. The techniques, the asking set questions at set times. What we want to do is we want to remove all of that and feel calm and be there genuinely to help the client. And that's number 1. Whatever I share with you, you must put helping the client at the top of your list. Making money is a symptom of genuinely wanting to care. Usually when it comes to sales, what happens is that we get caught up on ourselves, and we don't do this intentionally, we just feel the pressure ourselves. And when we feel the pressure, and this is what we're talking about here, neurosales, neuro study of the mind, sales obviously what we're here to discuss. When we feel the pressure, the client feels that pressure as well. And that's why, even though we're not a pushy person, we might unintentionally come across as pushy in that moment. And that's why we don't even try, because we're thinking, I don't want to come across as pushy. So it becomes this weird, confused moment with the client, and we just don't even try. So let's change how we feel about selling. We're going to remove the stress, the forcing the sale, and get into flow with it. But it's based on what I've just shared, neurosales, which means it's not about techniques. You do not need techniques when it comes to selling this way. What we need is to understand the brain, to understand the mind, how people buy. And when we work in alignment and in flow with how people buy, we can enjoy having that conversation with them instead of feeling that we need to manipulate in order to get them to buy something. I must follow this sales technique. When they cross their arms, I'm going to cross my arms. When they sit up straight, I'm going to sit up straight. This is all the traditional stuff that makes us feel pressure. And yes, there is still, unfortunately, a lot of training out there that teaches sales that way. And it just doesn't work, not in today's world. So how do we reframe through neurosales and understanding the way that people buy? Well, what we do is, first of all, and I've got 3 reframes specifically for you today. First of all, we're going to move away from techniques. I don't believe in techniques. I don't believe in scripts. Sometimes they can help a little bit, but it's certainly not the deeper level of what's going to help you sell. It's very much the surface level, but we need to go far deeper if you're going to do this and succeed. It's why so many people go through sales training. Some succeed and many fail. And most sales training, the studies show that you get an instant boost because everybody feels good at the end of the day, and then you train wreck after that and you go back to how you were feeling before. So we want to move away from this pressure that we put on ourselves that I've got to follow these sales techniques, and instead we make everything we do about understanding. This works in marketing. You can look at it as neuromarketing, but we're specifically talking about sales. By the way, I look at the nuance. Marketing is one-to-many. It's getting your message out there to the world. So right now, this video could almost be a marketing video because it's going to many people. But sales for me is more one-to-one, sitting down with that individual. So we look at it and say, I'm no longer going to worry about techniques. I'm going to invest my energy purely in understanding the individual in front of me. One thing that you hear me say again and again is the problem is never the actual problem. If somebody wants to lose weight, it's not about losing weight. It's more about how they feel as a result of losing weight, who they become in the process. We want to get to the psychology every single time. You might offer something like accounting, which on the face of it, and don't take offense if you are an accountant, is a pretty boring thing to sell. And we end up selling it in a boring way. And that's why we end up blending in with all the other accountants, because we're saying, we're going to help you do your books, we're going to help you with your VAT return, and we don't differentiate from anybody else. It's not about the fact that you do all these things. These are a standard as an accountant. It's about removing the overwhelm of a VAT return. It's about removing the fear of HMRC in the UK chasing you with that brown letter that they send through the post. We always want to go deeper and understand the individual, and this is what neurosales is all about. So we move away from techniques. Never worry about a sales technique again. And next time you sit down with a potential client, either face-to-face or online, focus entirely on understanding them and their deeper motivators and drivers, what's stopping them. This is the basis of neurosales. And that leads me to the second step, which is understanding that, well, it's not about pushing this person to buy. When we think about the traits of a successful salesperson, usually we go to things like they're fast talking, they've got the gift of the gab, they know how to ask all these different questions in the right time, they're brash, they're confident. But in actuality, they're the least successful traits of a salesperson, especially in today's market. This is not 30 years ago, 1995, where we're selling secondhand cars. The most successful traits of a salesperson today is empathy. So we're moving away from this push and we're reframing that sales is purely empathy. And the deeper level of empathy we have, the more we're going to take the time to truly understand that individual, and all of this starts to connect together, and we can sell from our integrity. We're no longer selling because we're feeling this pressure that we have to sell. This is why you always want to believe in what you sell. If you don't believe in what you sell, my suggestion is do a deeper dive into, well, why would I want to sell this thing? Or go and sell something different. Because when you truly have a deep level of empathy, you will want to take that time to understand the client. But we must not confuse empathy with sympathy. Most people, when I first start training them in sales and I say, listen, it's about empathy, they slip accidentally into sympathy. Empathy is, I'm here to support you, but I'm going to lead this conversation and we're going to work together as a team to increase your awareness so you reach a point where you realize, oh my goodness, I need to move forward with a solution. Where sympathy is more so, I'll cry with you and I'll stay stuck in your problem. The problem with sympathy is that it looks good on the surface. I'm going to sit here and have this sympathy with you, but it's not a virtue of the heart. What it is we're still making the sale about ourselves because we're insecure and thinking, I'm just going to sit here with this client and I'm going to have all this sympathy with them. No, you are there to lead that client and to see if they're ready to move forward. If now's the right time and you're the right person to help them. And also, if they're the right client for you, in a way, with a deep level of empathy, you are interviewing that potential client. So we're shifting from push to a deep level of empathy where you're working as a team with that individual, side by side, not you versus them. Now, the coolest thing about all of this is that when you have this deep level of understanding and you have empathy, you are no longer worried about closing techniques. Most sales managers that I talk to, when I've done a lot of training, 500 plus companies around the world, they say to me, Pete, my team can't close the deal. And then they say, I don't understand, I'm doing all this training and support with the team to help them close. But here's the thing, is that we never close a single sale. The client closes it in their own mind. And the more that we have this understanding of how people buy and we have a deep level of empathy, the more that we're going to create an environment where the client will close themselves. Now, this doesn't mean we don't ask for the sale. You always ask for the sale. But by the time you get to the point where you're asking for the sale, the next step, the client's already on board. You've had the understanding, you've had the deep level of empathy, you're working as a team. They are 100% ready to work with you without feeling they're being pushed into a corner. There's so much I want to share on Neurosales, but to be fair, all of my videos link back to Neurosales on some level. So let me know below what makes sense for you the most. What's been your aha moment, your breakthrough during this conversation? I'll be checking all the comments and replying, and from there, I will see you tomorrow.